Imagine a place so deep, so alien, that it challenges everything we thought we knew about our own planet. A place where rock behaves like plastic, where temperatures are hot enough to boil water twice over, and where mysterious sounds echo from the very bowels of the earth. This isn't science fiction. This is the story of the Kola Super Deep Borehole, the deepest hole ever dug by humankind. Our journey begins in the desolate, frozen landscape of the Kola Peninsula in northwestern Russia, not far from the border with Norway. The year is 1970. The Cold War is at its peak. The space race between the United States and the Soviet Union is capturing the world's imagination. But while America was looking up to the stars, the Soviets turned their gaze downwards into the abyss. They embarked on an audacious project, not to conquer space, but to conquer the Earth's very crust. Their goal was to drill as deep as possible, to peel back the layers of our planet and unlock the secrets hidden within. Why go to such extreme lengths? The official mission was pure science. Geologists were desperate to understand the composition of the Earth's crust. The nature of the boundary between the crust and the mantle known as the Mohorovicic discontinuity, or MOHO, and the geological processes that shape our world. They wanted to take a direct sample, a core of the Earth itself, something never before achieved. It was the geological equivalent of the moon landing, a monumental feat of engineering and scientific curiosity. The drilling rig, a behemoth of Soviet engineering named Uralmash for E, and later the upgraded Uralmash 15000, was a sight to behold. It wasn't designed to create a wide chasm, but a narrow borehole, just over 9 inches in diameter. For the next 2 decades, this rig would tirelessly grind its way into the planet. The process was slow, painstaking, and fraught with challenges. Drill bits would wear out, break, and get stuck. The team had to invent new drilling technologies on the fly, pushing the limits of what was thought possible. For the first 7 kilometers, things went relatively smoothly, confirming many of the geologists' existing models of the Earth's crust. But as they pushed deeper, the planet began to reveal its surprises. The first major shock was the discovery of water. Scientists had long believed that the Earth's crust should be solid and impermeable at such depths due to the immense pressure. Yet, they found water circulating in deep fractures. This wasn't water seeping down from the surface. It was water that had been squeezed out of the rock crystals themselves by the colossal pressures trapped for billions of years. Then came the rocks. The team expected to drill through a layer of granite and then hit a much denser layer of basalt, a transition known as the Conrad discontinuity. They never found it. Instead, the granite just kept going, but it had been transformed by the heat and pressure into something else entirely, a type of metamorphic rock. This discovery alone forced geologists to rewrite their textbooks. But perhaps the most startling discovery was the evidence of life. No, they didn't find subterranean creatures or a lost world. What they found were microscopic fossils. The preserved remains of 24 species of single-celled marine organisms called plankton embedded in rocks that were over 2 billion years old. These fossils were found at a depth of more than 6 kilometers. How did they get there? The immense heat and pressure should have destroyed any organic matter. Yet these tiny carbon compounds were perfectly preserved. Protected within the ancient rock, a ghostly snapshot of a long-vanished Precambrian sea. As the drill bit churned ever deeper, the challenges intensified. By the time they reached 12 kilometers, or about 7.5 miles, the temperature was a blistering 180 degrees Celsius, or 356 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
This was nearly double what the scientists had predicted. At this temperature, the rocks no longer behaved like solid, brittle material. They became more like plastic, flowing and squeezing the borehole, making further drilling incredibly difficult and dangerous. The drill string itself, a metal pipe stretching 12 kilometers long, would twist and deform under the strain.
Oh.
It was at these extreme depths that the project took a turn into the realm of myth and legend. In the late 1980s, a story began to circulate, first in a Finnish newspaper and then spreading like wildfire across the globe through tabloids and religious newsletters. The story claimed that the Soviet scientists hadn't just hit hot rock. They had broken through into a cavity, a hollow space deep within the earth. To investigate, they lowered a heat-resistant microphone into the borehole. According to the legend, what they recorded was beyond terrifying. It wasn't the sound of shifting rock or geological activity. It was the sound of screams, thousands, perhaps millions, of tormented human souls, wailing in agony. The media dubbed it the sounds of hell. The recording, a chilling mix of distorted shrieks and chaotic noise, was played on radio stations and shared widely, convincing many that the Soviets had inadvertently drilled a hole straight into the underworld. So, did they really hear the screams of the damned? The short answer is no. The story was a complete fabrication. A piece of sensationalist folklore that played on cold warrior fears and religious beliefs. The supposed recording was later debunked. It was actually a cleverly remixed and looped audio track from the 1972 horror film Barren Blood, combined with various sound effects. The scientists who worked on the Kola project have repeatedly and emphatically denied ever recording such sounds or breaking into a subterranean cavity. Their instruments were designed to measure seismic waves and temperature, not to record audio. The pressure and heat alone would have destroyed any conventional microphone. The real story is, in its own way, just as fascinating. The sounds that geologists do listen for are seismic rumbles, the groans and creaks of the Earth's crust under stress. These low-frequency vibrations can tell them about rock density and fault lines, but they are far from the supernatural screams of legend. The hell the scientists found wasn't a place of fire and brimstone, but one of extreme physical conditions that defied their expectations and pushed their technology to its absolute limit. In 1992, the drilling officially stopped. The project had reached a final depth of 12,262 meters. They had planned to go to 15,000 meters. But the unexpectedly high temperatures and the collapsing state of the borehole made it impossible to continue. The collapse of the Soviet Union shortly thereafter meant that funding for such an ambitious and expensive project dried up completely. Today, the site of the Kola super-deep borehole is abandoned. The towering derrick has been dismantled, and the buildings are falling into ruin, slowly being reclaimed by the harsh Arctic environment. A humble monument to one of the greatest scientific adventures of the 20th century. It's a welded-shut gateway to another world, right beneath our feet. The legacy of the Kola super-deep borehole is immense, provided an unprecedented glimpse into the deep continental crust, challenging old theories and opening up new avenues of research. The data collected on heat flow, rock composition, and deep subterranean water is still being analyzed by scientists today. It was a testament to human ingenuity and our unyielding desire to explore the unknown. Whether it's in the vastness of outer space or the crushing depths of our own world, the sounds of hell's story, while false, serves as a powerful reminder of how the unknown can ignite our imagination and our deepest fears. The Earth's interior remains one of the last truly unexplored frontiers. The Kola borehole only scratched the surface, literally. It went down 12 kilometers, but the center of the Earth is more than 6,000 kilometers away. What other secrets, what other surprises lie waiting in the abyss? We may never know for sure, but the story of the Kola super-deep borehole will forever be a chilling and awe-inspiring chapter in our quest for knowledge. Thanks for joining us on this journey to the center of the Earth. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of science and history. Let us know in the comments what you think the scientists would find if they could drill even deeper. See you next time.